recording and recording on. I want to explain to people, right, how to get from basic quality recordings to professional recordings, right? And so with that, there's a lot that goes into that, and it depends on what level of recording you're trying to get out of, you know what I'm saying, what you're doing. All right. Now, I didn't want to touch on the phone topic, but I noticed that in the modern day that we live in, there's a lot of people that don't have the money to invest in, or they don't think that they have the money to invest in professional equipment and or even basic professional equipment, and they would rather use something like their phone or something like that. Now, there's a whole lot of things I could say about that. I don't know much about phone recording as far as um like trying to do music through recording a phone. Now I've heard, like, if you're just posting your stuff on like like you're not posting your music to any professional platforms, you're not trying to make money off of your music, then it's probably fine to record on your phone. Right now, there are some things that you can do to be able to run a professional setup into your phone, right? So through the what should I say? It depends on what phone you have. Like if you got an iPhone, it's gonna be through the I don't know what that cable is, the lightning cable, but now it's USB-C on the newer iPhones. Uh but some phones still do have a earphone 3.5 millimeter jack. Anyways, there is a way to get a professional recording through your phone, but it's not recording directly into the phone. You see what I'm saying? If you're using a microphone that's built into the phone, if you are using um you're not gonna get the best sound out of that phone. For example, this microphone right here is $1,500, right? Well, more or less, about 12 without tax. Um, so it depends. It's, I guess with tax it's about $1,500, right? For this mic right here. Now you don't necessarily have to get a mic like this. Now there are mics that cost more than this, but this mic right here is particularly in like the top professional category. All right, this is a TLM 103. All right, now I think this mic is like $11.99 or $12.99 without tax here in the US. uh I don't, let me it's actually $13.49 without tax, but that's the list or the MSRP price on it. But you're not gonna pay the MSRP on it. That's just what that mic is valued. This what this mic is valued at. But they always give you the a cheaper price when you go and buy it from a music store. Like it's gonna be like $11.99 or something like that. Anyways, a lot of people think that these type of mics are, like, oh, I can't afford that. There's programs that they have where you can make payments toward equipment, and that's how I got a lot of my equipment, right? So like Best Buy and Guitar Center and a lot of other places have, if you look up progressive leasing, right? So progressive leasing is for people that don't have good credit, or maybe they just don't want to use their credit. And then they also um it just goes strictly like based off of your job, like what you make. So um yeah, it goes strictly based off of what you make. And uh I would say that they gave me, like, my first time that I applied with them, I didn't think I was gonna get enough money. But I guess it just strictly depends on, like, how much you make. um they gave me, I wanted to buy a professional camera from Best Buy, and they gave me $1,500 on the spot, right? But I just think that goes based off what you make. So if somebody makes like half of what I make, or even 3 times less than what I make, then their amount may be lower. Now, if you make more than what I make, then your amount may be higher. I remember being in Best Buy one time, and there was a dude that he was trying to buy a professional camera. And me and him got to talking because he was asking me questions about, hey man, you know about these cameras and stuff. I don't know if he thought I worked there or what, but I was like, yeah, what you need to know. I know some stuff, like what you need to know. And we just got to talking, and I was almost telling him everything I know, because I know about filming and I know about music. If a lot of people don't invest in themselves, a lot of people don't understand that music and film kind of go hand in hand, right? Music, film, photography, you know, stuff like that kind of goes hand in hand. You got to think about it. If you are a artist, right? If you are a professional artist, right? Or even an upcoming artist, right? You're gonna need videos done. You're gonna need album artwork done. Now, yeah, you can record it with your phone if that's what you want to do, right? But I'm saying, even if you are recording or filming with your phone, and that's fine, you're still gonna want to know how to get the best result out of that phone. A lot of phones come with like default settings, right? And a lot of times those default settings are kind of like they don't know exactly what you want. Do you want the highest quality that phone can get, or do you just want something that's decent quality that doesn't require any editing, and you can post it straight to social media, right? Because if you record video, or even sometimes like an image in a super high quality, especially with video, and then you try to upload straight to a platform, the platform is going to degrade that quality so much, because it's going to be like, oh wow, this is a super large file. It's looking at the file size. If you ever notice, like if you upload a video to a platform, right? Look at the original, when you record the video, look at the original file size when you first record the video, right? Like after you get done recording it, right? And then when you upload, if you edit the video, if you upload into an editing program and then you export it out, or you render it out or finish it, you know, you get done editing and then you export it out, again, look at that file size, right? It's probably gonna lose file size, right? It's either gonna lose or gain. And if it gained, it probably added some stuff that didn't need to be there, right? So you got to be careful when trying to, you just got to know like the right balance anyways on that. And so, but anyways, typically what's gonna happen is you're gonna start off with this huge file, because it's in a better quality for the most part. And then when you load it into a program, that program is going to take away some more quality, right? So when I say that, you're gonna look at the file size. The way that you can tell if detail is being lost, you look at the file size, right? And then when you upload into the program, right, it's gonna lose quality again. So you have to be very careful with that, because you're gonna lose quality like every time you try to take a step to edit or whatever it is, or you're gonna lose some type of quality. So this is why I'm so big on starting out with the recording in the highest quality to begin with, because if you're starting off with a mediocre quality, you're gonna end up with a lesser quality in the end. That's not what you want to do. So I try to take that stuff very seriously. So recording with a phone, I'm not really big on that, but I know that we live in a modern society where everybody has access to a phone, and phones give us pretty much direct access to the platforms that we're typically trying to upload to. Now, I went to school for professional filming, where I took courses for professional filming, professional music producing, mixing, and editing. So, and a lot of the stuff I learned on my own, even before I had took the courses. Um, so, but yeah, like, and I'm still learning, you know. So I feel like a professional never stops learning. So for those of y'all out there that are trying to get the the best quality recording, I wouldn't recommend using your phone. But like I said, I know we live in a world, in a society where that is something that a lot of people are interested in doing, and a lot of people feel like, okay, I can get a good result out of this. Like I say, if I were going to record on my phone, like there's a way to, like, for example, my iPhone that I'm on right now, iPhone 14 Pro Max, that's what I'm on right now, right? And it doesn't have the USB-C like the iPhone 15. I don't care. I don't want the iPhone 15, not yet. Well, I want the 16. But anyways, these still have the lightning connection in the bottom of them. When they went to the iPhone 15, they went to the USB-C, which is cool because now you can use your Android and your iPhone. If I have a iPhone and a Android, I can use the same cable. But the lightning connection in the bottom of this iPhone, there is a way, I've seen people do it, that you can plug, like, let's say for example, this is my preamp interface, right, what my microphone plugs into, and this plugs into my computer, right? So there is a way to be able to plug my phone into this, right? So basically, I'm not using the microphone in the phone, right? The only thing that I'm plugging to the phone is just so that y'all can hear it, right? But what I'm using is like this microphone right here and this preamp interface right here, right? And then I'm using that to plug into the phone. So the quality is being made through this professional microphone and this professional preamp. This is Hollywood grade stuff right here, right? So that's what you want. Now, you don't have to spend $1,500 on a microphone to get a professional sound. This is just top notch. This is if you want Hollywood, okay? Same thing with filming, same thing with cameras. Now, here's another microphone that I like to recommend to a lot of people, right? I typically don't use this one for professional studio recordings, but you can. I like it, but it's a difference in, you got different levels. This microphone is the C214, made by AKG. You see AKG's logo right here, right? It's a C214. This is a budget version, or a quote unquote modern budget version of the 414. The 414 is like what Kevin Gates uses, and a lot of big names use the 414. That microphone is $1,200 without tax. It's the same price as this microphone right here. But when you get that microphone, you are Hollywood you are top tier. You see what I'm saying? I'm all about being top tier. Like, if you're gonna take your music serious, take it serious. Now, when I first started, I didn't have this microphone. This microphone right here was $399, I believe it was. I think this mic was $399. It was either $399 or $499. But I think the price might have dropped. So, but anyways, there's another microphone. I gave it away. I've owned it twice, but I don't use it anymore, so I just gave it away. And I really don't use this one anymore. But I might buy this microphone that I'm telling y'all about. It's a AT2020. It's made by Audio Technica. This microphone has been used. I've even heard professional names say that this microphone is $100. Or like $149 or $199. I think when it first came out, it was $199. The price dropped to $149, right? And then now I think you can find it brand new for like $99. I've even seen them at pawn shops for like $40. So a lot of people, it doesn't cost a lot of money to get a professional microphone. Now, one thing that I will say, if you are using a USB style microphone, I would not recommend that. But technology is getting better. So I can't just sit up here and say that, oh, because it has a USB connection in the bottom, that it's a bad microphone. Now, what I've seen is now they're coming out with microphones that have an XLR connection in the bottom. That's what this is right here. And they also have a USB connection in the bottom of them. That might be a good thing. Because it's like a hybrid microphone. You can plug that microphone directly into your computer. You can plug that microphone probably directly into your phone with the right conversion. But professionals typically don't use a USB microphone, right? Now there are different types of microphones too. So that makes a difference on quality, right? So, but for phone recording, I would not, if you're trying to get a professional recording, I would not use the microphone in your phone. I would not even, I see some people plug in like earphones into the bottom of their phone, like those little, like pretty much the earphones that you would use to make a phone call. And they're using the microphone on not these type of head. I wish I had some, but I don't, just so I could show y'all what I'm talking about. But pretty much earbuds, that's what they're called, I believe. Earbuds that you use when you're just making a phone call. I will see people using those, and it'll have a microphone built in on the wire, and they'll be talking into the microphone like this, trying to record a song or trying to do a TikTok or whatever it is. And that is not good quality. But a lot of people don't realize it because you're just listening on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. What I'm saying is that might be fine for that, right? For a social media platform, if you're doing YouTube or whatever it is, like live. But if you want a professional result, you would take it a step further and you would use something like this. Or even if you don't have the money to spend $1,200, my first microphone was not $1,200. My first microphone was the one I told y'all about. It was like $100 microphone. And to some people, that's too much money. Go to a pawn shop and get it for $40, $50, right? This microphone right here, I give this mic away. I don't need it. This is a $400 microphone, $500 microphone. I'll give it away. Why? Because this is a C214. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's a good microphone. But I'm looking at what Hollywood and all the big names use. Kevin Gates, for example. This is a basic, a budget version of what Kevin Gates uses. I even seen Mo3 use this microphone before in one song. I think his song Slide on Him. If you look at what microphone he's using, it appears to be the 214. Now, it could have been the 414, but when I'm looking at it, it could have been the 414. But if you go and look at that video, Slide 'em, I pay very close attention to stuff. And I've seen a lot of people use the 214. And then when you listen to the quality of the Mo3 song Slide on Them, to me, it doesn't sound like the 414. It sounds more like the 214, because this is one thing I noticed about the 214, right? The 214, it has its limits, right? You cannot get the quality of a 414 out of a 214, but you can get a good result out of it. Now, when you start equalizing this microphone to like the extreme levels, it starts to sound like kind of plasticky and like you can tell it has limits, right? And that was one reason. This is a good microphone for somebody that's on a budget, for somebody that wants to take it a step higher than $100 microphone. This is a very good microphone for that. But if you're trying to go all the way, like I say, you would use something like this or something like the 414 Kevin Gates uses. Now back to the budget mics, and I also want to talk about headphones. So I'm gonna give y'all some price points real quick, just to let y'all know that y'all can afford budget. Y'all can afford professional equipment. You're gonna spend about $100 on a professional microphone. That is the AT2020 Audio Technica. Write that down, please, somewhere, if you can. Audio Technica AT2020. Really, in your phone, you don't even have to type in your browser. You don't have to type Audio Technica. All you gotta type is AT2020, and the microphone is gonna come up. Okay, so that mic is probably, you gonna find it for $100 brand new, probably, right? No more than $149 you gonna find that mic brand new. So $100 for a professional, entry-level professional microphone. That way you don't have to use the mic in your phone, right? So there's that. You spend $100 on a mic. You might get lucky and find it at the pawn shop. And I'm also recommending to y'all, like, just because you don't go by price point. You can go to the pawn shop or go to the music store and buy another microphone that's $100. It's not going to sound like an AT2020. It's not going to give you the result and the quality of an AT2020 or a C214. Just because a mic is the same price doesn't mean it's going to give you the same quality. I'm specifically telling you these specific microphone models and headphone brands and models because they are the ones that are going to give you the results. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, you're going to miss the mark and you're going to sound like everybody else. You don't want to sound like everybody else. You want to sound a notch above everybody else. That's why I invest in my equipment, because I don't want to sound like everybody else. When people hear my quality, they going to know, ooh, like he done got better. Ooh, he sounds, what label is he signed to? When you get a mic like this or a C414, people are going to be wondering what label are you signed to? Because you're going to have record label quality. Y'all keep settling, people keep settling themselves short. It's okay to start in one place. But if you would spend, you know, $200, $500 on some shoes, on some clothes, going out, turning up for the weekend, spending that kind of money on, you know, things that you smoke or things that you drink or whatever you would spend that money on. People spend money on unnecessary things. But then when it comes to you investing in your career, your music career, you got to be serious about it. If you look at this as a career, why would you not take that seriously? So for you to spend $100 or even $399 on a microphone, I didn't start out with this. I didn't start out with this microphone. And for this microphone right here, I actually put this on payments. I didn't buy it. I didn't walk in there and buy this microphone right out. I paid this in payments. If you walk into a store, like a music store like Guitar Center, they'll give you a 90-day purchase option. It's either 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. It might be 30 days with Guitar Center. But if you use the program that I'm telling you about, Progressive Leasing, they will give you 90 days to pay that off. And you walk out with, if you go through Progressive Leasing, you walk out with that item that day. If you go through like a Guitar Center layaway program, you don't walk out with that microphone that day. So it kind of don't make you feel like your money is even going somewhere. But I would advise y'all to look into Progressive Leasing. They're based out of Utah, I believe. But they now here's the thing. Because they are offering you a pretty much credit when you don't have good credit, they're gonna charge you 50% interest only if you go over that 90 days. So you have a year to pay it off. But I never do that. I always pay it off in 90 days. That's 3 months. Well, more or less. That's about 3 months. And so they also offer a 30-day extension. So let's just say that you got a microphone or a piece of equipment or a piece of camera, filming equipment, whatever, and 30 days went by, you paid some amount on it, 60 days went by, you paid some amount on it. 90 days goes by, and you're almost done paying it off, but you missed the mark. You can call them and say, hey, I need an extension. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to charge you $100 to add this 30-day extension. And I think you can only do that 30-day extension one time. I don't think you can keep extending 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. I don't know. I never tried that. But I know that they do have a 30-day extension. So you can go from 90 days to another 30 days. What is that? 120 days or whatever that is. Yeah, 120. And so you have 90 days to pay this off without having to pay for the interest, the 50% interest. So for example, if this microphone right here costs $1,200 and you pay it off in 90 days, you pay $1,200 for this microphone. But if you go to 91 days, guess what? Your 50% interest just kicked in and you're gonna pay $2,400 for a $1,200 microphone. That's stupid. Why would you do that? I'm not saying the program is stupid. The program is very helpful. But what I'm saying is you could have got a $2,400 microphone, but instead you paid $2,400 for a $1,200 microphone. Just don't go over the 90 days, right? And if you feel like you're gonna go over the 90 days, I think you can. No, I think they only give you 14 days to take it back. But all right. So Progressive Leasing. Tap into Progressive Leasing. When you go to Best Buy, when you go to Guitar Center, you can apply for Progressive Leasing. Now, it's a lot of people out there, man, that'll spend money on video games, or I see a lot of people do that. Spend a lot of money on video game systems, television sets. So what I'm saying is that's cool. If you're a person that likes to game and you're making money off of gaming, that's cool because that's an investment, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you make money off of your TV, which I don't know how you would, but I'm pretty sure there's ways to do it, then that's cool because that's an investment. So I can't say nothing about somebody that's spending money on a $1,500 on a TV or $1,500 on a gaming system if they're making money off of it. But if you're not making money off of that device, that is a waste. I mean, it's just a form of entertainment. It's just something to keep you entertained. I use my music to keep me entertained, but it's also an investment. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna spend money on the Xbox or PlayStation or whatever it is if I'm not making money, or if I'm not trying to make money off of that. But you can go to Best Buy and get you a game system through Progressive Leasing. You can walk out that day with the game system and you just pay monthly or weekly or bi-weekly, however you want to pay it. As long as you pay it off in that 90 days, you don't have to pay the 50% interest. If you don't care about paying 50% interest and you want to drag it out for the whole year, then you can do that. I wouldn't. I never do that. My camera gear that I bought, I have a camera. For example, my podcasting equipment that I bought. This is a $1,200 podcasting device. $1,200 for this. I didn't pay for this outright. I didn't walk in there and say I had the money, but I don't want to spend $1,200 up front. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a big celebrity. None of that. So guess what I did? When I walked into Guitar Center, I said I'm putting this on my Progressive Leasing account. So guess what? I walked out with this and didn't pay. I think I paid $50. You pay like $30 or $50, something like that, and you walk out with it. That's it. And then whenever you get paid, if you get paid weekly or monthly or whatever it is, now this will go on your credit if you decide that you want to pay the $50 and walk out with it, and then you don't want to make another payment. They're gonna come for you. So for those out there for those of y'all out there that are trying to pretty much steal, I wouldn't advise that, because then when you decide that you want to get another piece of equipment, they're not gonna approve you for it. You screwing your own self. I'm trying to tell y'all about programs out there that are set up for individuals like you and I that don't have it, but you're trying to get it out the mud. There's programs out there you can walk out of Best Buy or Guitar Center with your filming equipment and your music equipment right now. You can walk out with, I don't know, it just depends on what you make. How much money you make is gonna determine the amount that they approve you for. They might approve you for $500. They might approve you for $1,000. They might approve you for $1,500. I don't know. It depends on what you make. Like I say, my first time they approved me for $1,500. So I was able to, the camera, I was in Best Buy, and the camera that I wanted was, it was like $2,000. 24. Really, the camera I wanted was more than that. It was like $5,000. But I knew I couldn't get that one, so I was just trying to get a camera for now. And they did have some cameras in there that were under $1,500, but that's not what I wanted. So what I did was I left. I didn't get anything for $1,500. I'm like, that ain't what I want. What happened is, 6 months later, I come back in the Best Buy. I said, you know what, man? Let me quit being crazy. Not crazy, but let me quit being like picky. Like, even though, because I research stuff, so I know what's gonna give me the quality that I'm looking for, right? So I go back into Best Buy 6 months later, and I pretty much told Best Buy, let me go ahead and reapply. Let me go ahead and get that $1,500. You know what I'm saying, that y'all was giving me. And they was like, okay, cool. Now, but they was like, okay, you gotta apply for it again because it been a certain amount of time. It kind of like cancels itself if you don't use it. So what happened was I reapplied for the loan thing. It's not really a loan, kind of is, but it doesn't go off credit. It goes based off what you make, right? So I reapplied for it, and when I reapplied for it, they approved me for like, it was like $2,200 or something like that, or $2,400. I can't remember what it was. It might have been, it was either 22 or 24 or something like that. So I was like, oh snap, I can get the camera that I was trying to get last time. So I went ahead and got the camera, right? And I was also able to get two lenses, two basic lenses. They weren't professional lenses, they were the budget lenses, but you got to have a lens to use with a professional camera. And so I was able to walk out of Best Buy with a $2,500 worth of gear, and all I paid was like $35 or $50 or something like that. It was like the best feeling in the world, because I didn't have the money to pay for it, but I was able to walk out with $2,500 worth of stuff. So a lot of y'all, well, a lot of people are probably thinking, I'm gonna walk into Best Buy, pay my little $50, you know what I'm saying, and walk out with the $2,500 and not pay for it. You shooting yourself in the foot, man. You must not be serious about your music, your filming, and stuff like that, because once you pay that off and reapply again, they're gonna give you another $2,500. You know what I'm saying? So, and it starts, typically it starts going up and up and up. Every time you pay something off, if you don't miss, as long as you don't miss any pay, if you miss payments, they're probably not gonna approve you for a higher amount, because they're like, okay, you struggle with paying that off, we don't want to necessarily give you more, you know what I'm saying, but we'll still give you something. And if so yeah, so I said all that to say, those of y'all out there that are recording on y'all phones and recording on cheap equipment, like, how serious are y'all about this, right? A lot of y'all want to be signed to a record label, but for what? Because a record label has this. A record label has that $1,500 mic, that $3,000 mic in the studio. A record label has those $5,000, $10,000 cameras and higher. But if you can buy all that stuff yourself, why would you need a record label? Why? If you are an artist, you're always going to have to pay somebody to come film your videos. Why would you do that? If you're gonna have to pay somebody, let's say $500, $300, $800, whatever it is to come film your video, why wouldn't you just take that $300, that $500, or that $800 and go buy your own camera? A lot of people are not thinking because people don't want to do the work themselves. All you got to do is learn how to use it. Even if you don't know how to use it, you can buy a tripod. A tripod. This is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Buy a tripod. Do y'all know what a tripod is? Tri means three. They have monopods and they have tripods. A monopod, it just has one leg. It stands on one leg. So you kind of have to balance it, because if you let it go, it'll fall over. A tripod has 3 legs. You put your camera on it and you sit it there and it stands by itself, almost as if somebody's standing there holding the camera. Buy yourself a tripod. Buy yourself a cheap camera. Even your phone, if you got to use your phone, that's fine. For now. But eventually you want to invest into, so buy a tripod. Put your camera, your cheap camera, or your phone on a tripod and record yourself a video. It's simple. I've never recorded really anything on my phone. Only time I'm gonna record something on my phone is when I'm trying to upload straight to a platform like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or something like that. But for all of my podcasts, my professional podcasts and my videos, my professional music videos that I do, I use like a $5,000 camera setup. Well, really, it's more than that now. It's probably like $10,000 camera setup. $5,000 to $10,000 camera setup. Because, so I'm gonna show y'all this right here, right? This is a DJI Ronin. What is this? The RS3. This is the newest one that's out right now. This is the most expensive one that's out right now. They have different versions of this. They have one that starts out at like $300 and something. I bought the cinema version. So guess how much it was? It was $1,200. $1,200? Where the box at? Yeah, I want to say $1,200 for this. They have different versions. They have a $300 version. And then they have older models too. If you don't want to even spend $300, you can buy the older models, not the RS3, like the RS2, the RS1. They have different models that are like $100, $200, $300. You can get one of those. You don't have to get what I get. But I've been wanting one of these for a very long time. I was never able to even be able to afford the $300 versions ones. That was too much money for me at one time, right? I mean, I had the money, but I didn't want to spend $350 and then be broke. Couldn't do it. So that's why I say it was like a blessing from God when I was able to buy my first DJI gimbal. Y'all know this is what the camera sits in. What is this used for? This is so that when you are recording video footage, it's smooth. It looks professional. There's other reasons why professionals use a something like this. A lot of y'all use the stabilization in y'all's phones or in y'all's cameras. That's not good. But I would have to go into detail to explain why that's not good. It reduces some of the quality. So if you're able to turn your stabilizer off in your phone or off in your camera, guess what? You can get a slightly better image quality. Why? You have to understand how stabilization works in your camera or in your phone. So I really don't want to pull all my stuff out, but I have to show y'all this to be able to let y'all know. And these headphones are not on. They're not plugged up to anything. So that's why I have it off of my ear. But so I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Here's one of my professional cameras, right? This lens is a $3,000 lens, somewhere around that price, right? This camera is a $2,500 camera. I have another camera that costs the price of this together, like $4,000 or $5,000 for a camera. Now, that don't. Okay, look, this is what I want to show y'all. I just took my lens off, right? Now, there's a sensor here. You see how big this sensor is? Your sensor in your phone is probably like the size of an eraser, if not smaller. Okay? Image quality picks up based off of, so here's the thing. Think of this as a window, right? Think of your camera, your lens, and your sensor. I can show you the sensor. That's the sensor right there. All right. Think of the sensor as a window. All right. So think of that as a window. Think of that as a window, all right? And if you have a small window in your house, and then in somewhere else in the house you have a big window, that window is, the bigger window is going to allow more light in. Like some of y'all know y'all have those little windows in the restroom, and it allows some light in. But then, like in another part of the house, like grandma's house, where she had those big windows, like old school big windows, those big windows allow more light in for a larger room, right? So what happens is the bigger your sensor, the more light that is being captured through that quote unquote window or that sensor. Okay, so it allows, the way that imaging works is through lighting. If you notice, I have a lot of lights on in here. You can't see that, but I have a lot of lights on in here, and I have a lot of light coming in. If I were to turn those lights off, my image would degrade, because everything works with light. So the bigger sensor you have, the bigger window it is to allow more light in, results in better quality. Okay, so this is a full frame camera. All right, it's a full frame camera. This is the size of sensor that Hollywood uses. So some people wonder, like, why do you need that size? If you were to, and I'm gonna explain to you what goes on. All right, so when you turn on stabilization, what happens is the camera has to crop in a little bit on the sensor. So remember, the bigger the sensor, the better the quality, because it's allowing more light in, right? Now it also depends on the process and other things like that, in the lens and all that stuff too. But right now we're just talking about sensor, so I can explain to you how stabilization works. Stabilization crops in on the sensor, so you're not being able to use the full sensor. It's going to crop in a little bit, because what happens is when you move up, down, left, and right, it's like a slight delay in the image. So what it's doing is when it crops in, it's able to move to the edges of this sensor without hitting the edge. So it's like it'll move. But if you're using the whole sensor, you wouldn't be able to use stabilization, because it has nothing to. So every time you move, like if you move this way, the sensor moves the opposite. The stabilization moves the opposite way on the sensor. That's why it has to crop in. It has to give itself a little bit of play to be able to, a little bit of wiggle room, I should say, to be able to move the opposite of what you're doing. That is how your image becomes that is how your your footage becomes smooth. So you have a trade-off. Either you can get smoother footage, or you can get higher quality, right? I would always choose higher quality over smoother footage. But now in some scenarios, you have no choice. Like if you're outside running, you don't want a super shaky video, so you have no choice but to turn on image stabilization, because otherwise people are not going to be able to see what you're doing or whatever it is. This is why something like this, a gimbal, comes in handy. Now they also have gimbals for phones. I have one in here. I never used it. But I do have one somewhere in this bag. But it's just like this, but it's for a phone. All right. So it's a lot smaller than this, and it cost me about what, $200, $150. I actually have two of them. I gave one to my friend. He never used it, but I never used it and he never used it. And then I bought, like, cause I bought the new one that I had, so I didn't need the old one. Plus the new one had features that I liked. So I never even used this. I've had this for a while. It's already paid off. I did get it through Progressive Leasing, $1,200 for this. And I got it's like you got a RS, RS, this is a RS3. You got a RS3 Mini, which is like the $300 version. You got a RS3, and then you have a RS3 Pro, and then you have a RS3 combo, and then you have a RS3 Pro combo. That's what this is, the RS3 Pro combo. So it comes with like a whole lot of additional things that the basic ones don't come with, and it's also the cinema. The Pro is the cinema version. It has it's more stable. It's made out of a whole different type of a piece of material, equipment, I mean. So it can withstand heavier cameras and heavier equipment. And then it also has like the motor inside of the Pro is like twice as powerful as the one in the regular RS3. So you got to understand, when you mount your camera on here, if your camera is really heavy, like, because this lens right here is made out of glass. You have some basic lenses, like, look, for example, these are both 50 millimeter lenses, right? Both 50 millimeter lenses, both give you good quality lenses. But this 50 millimeter costs like $2,500, this lens alone. And this 50 millimeter costs like $200 or $300, right? So this is for somebody that's on a budget, right? I also have zoom lenses, right? This zoom lens is a 24-105. It's a zoom lens that allows you to zoom in and out, right? But these are made out of plastic. The lens is made out of plastic. You got pros and cons to that. This is a lot more lightweight, right? So if I were, this 50 millimeter is heavy because it's glass and it has a lot more heavy duty components inside of it, versus if I were to put this one on my camera, it's like way lighter. So you got to think about that when you're putting all this stuff on a gimbal. You might have an external monitor on here, you might have a microphone on here, you might have a light on here. All that stuff is going to become heavy. This alone has some weight to it. But that's another thing about the Pro versus the basic one. This one is a little bit lighter, right? And it's made out of a different type of equipment. It's stronger and lighter. So, and it has better motors, and it has optional equipment. Thing I like about this too, about the RS3s, is they have it's a monitor. It's a screen on here. I never used it, but I read up on it, and you're able to actually see when you connect this to your camera. You're able to actually see your camera on this screen. So you're able to actually see what you're recording, so you can look at this screen and be doing what you're doing instead of having to look at the screen on your camera. You can look at either one. But then most professionals have an external monitor, right? But if you just decide, if you don't want to, if you don't want to add that heavy weight of an external monitor, and you just want to use this, or let's say maybe your monitor, the battery ain't charged or whatever, you have this monitor built in right here. So I like that. I like that feature. There's a lot of other things that this does. So now, I told y'all that I got my Rodecaster Pro. Actually, this wasn't $1,200. This was, it says $1,000, $99.99. This was $1,000. So I told you this is a professional podcast. They have different ones. They have cheaper ones than this. But I bought the top of the line one because this one does a lot more stuff. I can connect my cell phone to this. And like say I had somebody on a phone call, right? And I can connect my phone Bluetooth to this, and I can have somebody on a phone call, and I can be interviewing them through the phone, right? It also has more channels. It has, like, this one has a lot. I wanted 4 inputs and outputs. So I can connect 4 microphones. I can connect 4 headphones to this, right? A lot of other stuff it does too, right? Now, remember I told you I didn't buy this outright, right? I got this through a program, Progressive Leasing. Now my preamp interface, I might have bought this outright. I can't remember. I might have bought this outright. If I didn't buy it outright, then what I did was I put it on layaway at Guitar Center. I didn't know about the Progressive Leasing at this time. I think I bought this outright though. So, and then I also got this. It's made by the same people that I just showed y'all my podcast machine. And this is for my camera. Like if you're a gamer, you can connect your camera, professional camera, to this, and then to your computer or your phone or whatever it is. And that's why it's called Streamer X. It's for people that like to stream, but they're trying to get like a better quality, right? And it all is. So that's why I'm saying you can use your professional camera with it. Now I can plug my professional camera directly to my computer or whatever and stream like that. But this also gives you a lot of different options, and you're also able to connect if you wanted to plug a professional microphone with your camera, or even a film microphone, instead of having to use the microphone in your. It's a lot of things that come with this. Have I ever used this? No, I've never used it. I never used it. I almost don't even know why I bought it. I plan on using it, but I've never used it. I think I misunderstood what it was. I think it's still. Anyways, let me go on to talk about why it is important. So this microphone wire that you see plugged up here, I think it cost me about $50 for the microphone. Some of y'all complain about spending $50 on a microphone. I spent $50 on a microphone cable alone. Do I want to spend $50 on a microphone cable? No. But the thing is, I want Hollywood grade quality. I want the record label quality. You see what I'm saying? So some of y'all want to make money and have the hit song out there, but you're not investing in yourself, right? I take courses right now with Zaytoven. Some of y'all might know who Zaytoven is, some of y'all might not. But if you know about any rap music that comes out of Atlanta, a lot of that music is being produced by Zaytoven. All right, he makes beats. And if you look in Zaytoven's studio, he got nothing but like top of the line stuff. You're not gonna find no $100 microphone in Zaytoven's studio. You just not. Zaytoven takes his stuff very seriously. Now, when Zaytoven was first getting started, you know, you might have found different stuff. But now Zaytoven is at $1 million level. He don't play around. So I take advice, I take tips, I take you know, instruction from the big dogs. And I'm trying to pass it down to y'all. I'm trying to give y'all the stuff that I had to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for on these courses. I'm trying to give y'all this information free, and a lot of people ain't even tapping in. A lot of people ain't even, you know, taking what I'm saying to the heart. They're not taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? And that's bad on, you know what I'm saying? That's bad on them, because I'm giving out professional Hollywood record label advice for free. It ain't gonna always be free, I promise you. I'll eventually start selling my own courses and everything that I'm telling y'all now would be charged for. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm just trying to help people because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have the money to pay for good professional courses, but they want to know, hey, how do I get that result? How do I sound like this person? Or how do I sound like that person? Right? Y'all be wondering why so much music on the radio is you feel like a lot of these rappers don't really have, you feel like you have the same type of talent that they do, if not better, but you're wondering like why they are popping and you're not. Because you're not willing to invest in marketing. You're not willing to invest in equipment. You're not willing to invest in that $50 microphone cable. Like, some of the cables are not $50. It depends on the length that you get. Some of them are like $30, $35. But so with microphone cables, there are typically 3 different levels of microphone cable. You got like your basic. Some of them might call it essential. They don't want to call it basic because that might scare you away. But that's what it is. It's a basic microphone cable. I used to buy those. I'm like, oh, I just need a microphone cable. And I will buy a basic microphone cable, right? But I've always been big on quality. So if I seen that they had the advanced, like the next level up, and I had the money, I would get the advanced cable. I later found out that the basic and the advanced were not the best. They have an elite cable, which is the highest up, a premium elite cable, right? So I started buying the elite cable. Did I want to spend the money on the elite cable? No, it's like 2 times, 3 times the amount of a regular mic cable. But one thing, this is what I noticed. When I was using the AT2020, right, it's a good microphone for the money. But when I was using that microphone, I noticed, because a lot of people don't understand like EQ and compression. I do a lot of EQ and compression. So I start hearing things. I'm like, what is that? What is that sound? Why does my microphone sound harsh? Why does the capsule sound like that? Right? And I came to realize that my microphone cable, right? So I went and bought an elite microphone cable to use with my AT2020. That's the $100 microphone. I think I paid $40 for that microphone, but it's $150. It's a $200 microphone. You can find it on sale for anywhere from $150 to $100, right? I got mine from a pawn shop for $40, right? The AT2020 is a nice sounding microphone, a nice quality microphone, right? But you got to understand that it's still a basic microphone though. It's a professional, but it's still a professional. Like if you put professional microphones from a scale of 0 to 10, the AT2020 will be at the like maybe like level 1 or level 2 of that range, right? There's some microphones that sound worse than the AT2020, and they're the same price. That's why I'm telling y'all, you need the AT2020 if you're gonna spend money on a budget mic. If you want to go a step above that, get you the 214, the C214 by AKG. $399, but what's up, cousin? Keep giving the wisdom and knowledge, my G. God has. Keep giving the wisdom and knowledge, my G. God has great plans for you. No weapon that is formed against you will prosper. This is amazing information. Appreciate that, cousin. That's my cousin from California typing in. So I also so I talked about microphone. Cousin. Also, if you got any questions, man, or if you know anybody that has any questions, that's really why I'm doing this. I want to start doing live Q&As, and I want people to come on and just ask me questions. You know what I'm saying? So if you got any questions about anything pertaining to film, music, microphones, any of that, no question is stupid. Just ask me whatever you want to ask me, and I'll explain to the best that I can. So another thing that I think is important, like I said, is the microphone cable is the USB cable. So the preamp is important, but also the USB cable that plugs into your interface. A lot of people would just go by, oh man, I lost my USB interface cable, or I can't find my USB interface cable, and I'll just use whatever USB cable that I find and plug it. That's not the same. That's not the same. And I've always been very picky, you know what I'm saying, about the USB cable, the microphone cable, anything that I use, even with studio headphones. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that I want to talk about. I have a few pair of headphones here. I can't remember how much these cost, but these are Audio-Technica. They are the ATH M60X. Now the M50s are typically the ones that you would see in studios, the M50s, right? But these right here are supposed to be a step up from the M50s. These are the newest ones, and I bought them because I wanted to try them out. I like them. I like things about them. But you also got to understand about closed back headphones versus open back headphones. These are closed back headphones. If you notice, they're closed on the back. They don't have any openings. If you look at these headphones right here, you see that it's like vented. It's open. It's like a mesh screen because it's open. These are not for long-term use, but they're closed back because when you're recording into the microphone, you don't want the sound of the headphones being heard, the microphone to hear that. So these are closed back. They're sealed off so that no sound is getting out, right? But these right here are open back headphones. I can still hear everything, but they're open. Why are they open? Because these are not used for recording into a microphone. What are these used for? These are used for when you're like, you've already did the recording and you're mixing and editing the vocal section. Like if you're making a beat, or if you're editing the vocals, or like mixing and mastering, you want to put these on. Why? Because they're open. They're going to allow your ear to have less ear fatigue. There's a such thing as ear fatigue. What ear fatigue does is basically, it's just like your body. Your body gets tired after being awake for so long. Your ears get tired. This is a real thing. I'm not making this up. Ear fatigue is when your ears have been hearing a certain something for so long and it begin to get tired. So it's kind of like if you've been driving or you've been awake all day and your eyes start to get tired, your body starts to get tired, your ears start to if you've been working a job for a 15-hour shift, your body starts to get tired. You need to rest. Your ears need to rest. So sometimes what happens is your ears will start having this slight ring to them and you won't even notice it. Your ears have changed to the volume or whatever you're hearing, right? So you need to take a break. So sometimes what'll happen, what ear fatigue does, it will allow you to make false decisions. You'll be like, oh yeah, I need to get this sounding like this, or I like how that sounds like this. I promise you, I've done this, so I'm glad I learned this, because a lot of professionals don't understand this step, and they try to get a song done in a day, and then they like, when they hear it on the radio, they're like, man, why does it sound like that? Or they hear it on the platform, they're like, man, why does it sound like that? Because it sounded good to you that day, but if you were to go to sleep and rest for like 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is, wake up that next day and put those headphones back on, you might be like, dang, hold on, I need to tweak this a little bit. Like, that doesn't sound right. So, that, like, it's ear fatigue. Your ears have to rest and reset, just like your eyes do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's another thing that I feel like a lot of people need to pay attention to. Ear fatigue. There's a lot of times when I'm like, man, I got the day off, I want to finish this song, so I need to get this done today. But there's a lot of times when I'll be like, man, for some reason I can't get it sounding how I want to. That's why another thing is using different speakers as different references. Sometimes you need to take the headphones off and listen to on speakers, professional speakers. I would disconnect and show y'all what I got. I'll show y'all that in another video. All my like equipment and stuff, I'll show y'all that in another video, because I'm not finna take everything apart and show y'all everything right here, right now. But we'll be in the studio next month. And it's another video I have. There's some other videos I have on here. We have a podcast. And in the podcast, we bring y'all into the studio and we show y'all like all of our equipment and stuff, and tell y'all, you know what I'm saying, how to make it in the music industry, in the music business. And you know what I'm saying, if you need help with recording or filming or whatever, we go over all that stuff. So it's a podcast that I have on my page. I only have like 1 or 2 videos on there right now as of this recording. But I'm definitely gonna be adding to it, and definitely gonna be sharing with people, you know what I'm saying, how to get to the level that I'm at, how to become a professional, go from a beginner to a professional. And that's really why I'm doing this. I'm gonna start doing these little live videos right now, because I don't really like doing lives, because when somebody's on, I'm like, who's watching? I'm not really a live person. I don't like being live on stage, none of that. Like, I'm not, but my homeboy that I rap with, he loves like being live on stage. And that ain't my thing. I'm a really shy, bashful, standoffish type person. I analyze people. Like, I'm really one of them people that if we walked into a public place, I'm really standoffish. Like, I'm really like, I don't really fool with people. I don't really trust people. You know what I'm saying? So to have somebody watching me and I don't know who it is, it's like, man, who watching me? You know what I'm saying? It could be my mama, it could be my godmother, it could be my cousin, it could be, you know what I'm saying, my homeboy, it could be some random person. You know what I'm saying? Which typically the people that come on here are random people. You don't know who they are. So that's just kind of scary. Like, I don't know who watching me. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I don't like that. But sometimes you got to crack out of your shell. If you know Zaytoven, I take courses with Zaytoven. And Zaytoven is he's the same way. He's very bashful, shy, standoffish. Like, he very quiet, reserved. He not one of them type of people that really just like to be, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at Zaytoven, I'm telling you this because I take courses with him. He told us this out of his own mouth. But he said what happened is, in music, when he started blowing up like Gucci Mane, He worked with a lot of artists, Migos, Gucci Mane. When he started blowing up a lot of these, OJ the Juice Man, when he started blowing up a lot of these artists, like he would watch somebody like a Gucci Mane, and Gucci is like the life of the Gucci ain't that quiet person. Gucci is willing to, like, you know what I'm saying, like, connect with people, network. And see, my homeboy that I do music with, he kind of like me. He don't like networking with people. He don't like community. Like, he kind of keep to himself, and that's the way that I am. But on stage, he's a whole different character than I am on stage. He loves the stage. He's just that person. We can be out in doing a live show. I remember one time we was in San Antonio, Texas, or somewhere in Texas, doing a live concert, and this dude was like, he loves that energy and being able to look people in their eye, and you know what I'm saying, and rapping. Like, that ain't me. I'm the studio person. Like, I love being in the studio. Like, that's where I can really, the real me can just come out. Like, that's why, if you notice, if you hear a studio recording of me, you will notice how bold and confident I can sound in the studio, because that's home for me. Like, when I do a recording, a video recording, I don't like being on camera really, but I had to, like, when you trying to be an artist, I mean, you got to put out videos. So when I know the camera is on me, I act very different. Like, my bashful shyness, like, but like, now that we're kind of like growing, developing, got our own equipment, I can kind of, like, you know, I'm a little more confident with it. You know what I'm saying? So preamp choice. Preamp is the thing that I showed y'all. This is a preamp interface. All right. So your preamp interface choice is very important. Why? Because after having a high quality microphone, you don't want to degrade that quality. You got to have a professional microphone to be able to continue that quality, right? So this is one of the top of the line ones that a lot of people in Hollywood use, record labels use, and this is $1,200. They have some that cost more than this, right? They go up to like $3,500. So it just depends on what package you get, what all comes with them, right? And at the time that I bought this one, this was the best one out. I got this a long time ago, but now they have better ones than this. But as far as the sound quality for the most part is the same. This has always been top tier sound quality. All right. So now I want to get into, so I said, so you don't have to necessarily buy a $1,200 preamp interface. Like I say, this is what your microphone plugs into, and this plugs into the computer, right? I also can plug it into my phone. I've seen some people do it. I don't know how to do it, but I know that you can with the right adapter or whatever. So the first, well, not the first, but the first good quality preamp interface that I got was a Steinberg UR22. All you gotta type in your phone is UR22, and it'll come up. It was like $150, right? And so remember I told y'all the microphone was the AT2020 for $100. The preamp interface is a UR22 for $150. So you just spent $350, and now you have professional quality. If you cannot spend $350 on a microphone and a preamp to get professional quality, you're not serious about your music. You're not serious about your music. It's just like this water right here I'm drinking, this alkaline Body Armor water. Water wasn't cheap. I drink these every day. A few of them every day. I'm either drinking this, the Body Armor, or the Core. Them really the only two typically that I drink. You know how expensive the water is? You can drink some faucet water if you want to, But quality means everything. Quality means everything. I got another pair of headphones right here. These are actually discontinued. They come with their own case and all that. These come with their own case too. Well, it's like a pouch. Like a little pouch. I like the case better. Sennheiser is one of my favorite brands for headphones. Kevin Gates, his favorite brand for headphones is Sennheiser. A lot of people don't know this, but Sennheiser and Neumann, the TLM 103 is made by Neumann. Neumann is like the Mercedes-Benz of microphone, right? Neumann and Sennheiser are like owned or made by the same people, from what I read, from what I understood. And I didn't know that at first, but I noticed that when I first started, everything that I'm telling y'all from trial and error. I've tried every cheap microphone out there. I've tried every cheap headphone out there. I've tried every cheap camera out there. So everything that I've tried every app that you could use on a phone for editing video quality and all that. I've tried every probably cheap beat making software. So everything that I'm telling y'all is to keep y'all from having to make the same mistakes that I made and waste time buying this and buying this. And if I would have knew what equipment to buy, I would have saved myself a lot of money. And that's what I'm trying to do with y'all. I'm trying to help y'all save money, so that way you will spend $350 versus you spending $350 on the wrong microphone, thinking that, oh yeah, this is a professional mic. I've seen some microphones that cost the same price as the AT2020. I've heard some preamp interfaces that cost the same price as the UR22 made by Steinberg. They did not sound the same. Like the Focusrite, for example. A lot of people like the Focusrite. It's a red preamp. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. To me, it might have just been my voice. My voice just didn't go with it. Now, I've heard other people use the Focusrite. I've heard other people say that they love the Focusrite. But the little $100, $200 Focusrites, the red ones, when I bought one, I didn't like them. Everybody was like, get the Focusrite. So I went and bought one. I didn't like it. It added like this silkiness to my voice, and I didn't like it. I didn't like I just wanted transparency and clarity on my voice. I didn't want that silky sheen or whatever it did to it. It almost gave it this vintage style kind of polished sound to it. I didn't like that. Now, it'd be different if you had a way to turn it on and turn it off, but I didn't even if I had that option, I just didn't like it. I wouldn't have turned it on. Now, with a different microphone, that might have sounded good, but remember, I was using a basic cable. I was using the microphone that I was using. I would assume it was the AT2020 that I was using, along with the Focusrite, and I just didn't like it. So I could have been using another mic. I don't know. But these headphones right here are discontinued, made by Sennheiser, and they fold up. That's why they're folded up like this. But they are the HD. The HD, I'm trying not to make them fall out. They all scratched up because I don't be caring. I got so many headphones and I be in a hurry. They are the HD 380 Pro. These are discontinued. These are a upgrade or from the HD 250s or I think it's the 250s. The 250s or 280s, I think it's 250s. The HD 250s are what you would almost see in almost any studio. If you go to a professional recording studio, you're going to see the HD 250s. or they're like two something. I think they're 250s. I had a pair of them. I had 2 pair of them. I gave 1 pair to my homeboy. I don't know what happened to the other pair. But I upgraded to the 380s. And these are closed back headphones. So these are for recording into the microphone. These ones that I have on are open back headphones. These are the, what are these? These are the 4 something. 400s. These are the 400 Pros. These are the 380s, closed back. Just like these other ones that I had on at first are closed back. That's for when you recording into the microphone. You want a closed back headphone. These are the 400s, open back, more dynamic range. The thing about an open back headphone is my ears don't sweat. My ears get less fatigue. Because you got to understand, when you have a closed back headphone, if you got the bass like bam, 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 beating in there, it is like, it's creating a pressure between your eardrum, your ear, and that speaker. And it's like, almost like if you took a what is it called? A plunger. You know how when you put a plunger in the toilet and you like going back and forth like that? That's what the speaker is it's creating a pressure, a buildup. And the same thing that is happening to the water that's trying to move, it's trying to plunge, it's creating a pressure to push whatever is in the toilet. It's trying to, that's what's going on with your ear. That's why you don't want to wear closed back headphones for a long period of time. You want open back headphones. Not only do they take some of that pressure off of your ear, I can feel the AC. Like if you got the AC on in the room, I can feel air going through my ear. Like if you had it off, you know how air ventilation is being able to, I can feel air. Because these are open. So if you got the AC on in the room, I can feel the AC on my ears. Like, so my ears not sweating. Like with the closed back headphones. Now, I don't want to say like it's like bringing making air come into my ear, but I'm saying it's open, so it's ventilated. It's open, so I can feel the temperature of the room in my ear, on my ear. So anyways, I don't know if that made sense, but it made perfect sense to me. I just don't know how to explain it. Anyways, I'm probably making it sound like, oh, it's like a futuristic speaker. No, it ain't that. It just got holes in the back of it. Now, my favorite pair of headphones by Sennheiser. Remember, Sennheiser's my favorite brand, but these are AKG's, no, Audio-Technicas right here. But my favorite, my favorite headphone is made by Sennheiser. I have yet to buy a pair of Sennheiser headphones that I've been displeased with. From the $99 version up to I've spent like $400. I've had a pair of like $400, $500, $600 pair of Sennheisers. I still got them, but the wire on those, they're the HD 600s or HD 650s or something like that. Those by far are one of my favorite pair of headphones that I've ever heard. Ever heard. These are okay. I like these. For the money, I can't remember how much I paid for these. Maybe like $350 or $300 or something like that. Or $299, I can't remember. But for the money, when I first put these on, I didn't like them. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like them. But as I started to use them, I was like, oh, I actually do like these better than almost any pair of headphones that I have, except for my HD 600s. My HD 600s were, man, I'd say on the scale of 0 to 10, I would definitely put those on like a 8. These right here, I would put these on a level like maybe 6. Maybe like a level 6. These right here, I would put these like on a level 5. But I think these cost almost the same price. But I would put these like on a level 5. I like how they sound though. Don't get me wrong. The only thing that about these is they are closed back, and when I turn them up, you know what I'm saying, they start to kind of like, I realize they have a limitation. They kind of like start to not, I don't want to say hurt my ears, but I probably just got it too loud. It's not like the volume is too loud. It's like some kind of the speaker can't be pushed to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like the speaker's trying to tell me, okay, you got the speaker is too loud, but it's not too loud in my ears. So my HD 600s, bruh, I can turn my HD 600s up so freaking loud. It doesn't hurt my ears. It's an open back headphone. It doesn't hurt my ears. And I mean, I can just hear I can hear everything like the way that I want to hear it. And a super high quality. So the cable's broke on my HD 600s. I bought another pair of cables. Those cables are like $50. Well, they're like $39 or $35.99. But when you pay for shipping, the shipping and handling is like $15. So you're paying like $50 for a pair of wires. $40 to $50 for a pair of wires. And they broke again because I use them so much. And my problem is when I take a pair, like I'm always in a hurry. And when I take a pair of headphones off, I don't necessarily put them back in the case. And my 600s didn't come with a case. But that's why I like this case, because it protects. But if you seen when I showed y'all these, they had scratches on the outside of the headphone, because typically I'm not even putting them back in the case because I'm always in a hurry. Oh, I gotta go do this podcast. Or I gotta go over here and record something. Or I gotta, like, you see what I'm saying? So people don't understand. Like, I offer services for free, or I did, but it's gonna come to a point when I start charging people because my equipment gets broke, my equipment gets stolen, my equipment gets, you understand what I'm saying, lost. So for me to come out to your event, or for me to come out and do something with you, you want me to do it for free, and then my equipment end up getting broke or stolen or scratched up or dented or whatever, or dropped, and you want me to come do something for free? This is why I'm telling people that cannot afford professionals to come out and do it for them. I'm trying to teach y'all how to be able to do it on y'all own. So y'all don't have to rely on somebody like me, because my prices ain't gonna be free all the time. I told y'all everything that I do, I pay money for. My Zaytoven courses, all my teachers, my marketing courses, everything that I do, I probably paid for like 10 or 15 different courses. And when I say courses, they're different teachers. 10 or 15 different teachers. And each one of those courses by those teachers is costing me like a couple of $1,000s. You see what I'm saying? But I'm getting college grade information without having to pay for the stupid stuff that we don't care about, like reading, writing. Well, writing might be good. Reading, math, science, like, you know what I'm saying, U.S. history. Like, why do I care about U.S. history? I just want to know how I can get this microphone to sound the best. You know what I'm saying? So microphone placement. I'm gonna talk about microphone placement. A lot of people don't understand how important microphone placement is. There's two things that kind of contribute to microphone placement. Where you place the microphone in your room. Number two, where you place the microphone from your mouth. How close or far, or the angle. A lot of people don't understand how I'm able to get good sounding recordings. My homeboy he always asked me, to this day, he still asks me, like, bro, why do your vocals always sound like that, so clear and crisp? Even when I had my $100 microphone, he noticed that why does your microphone sound like that? There's a lot of things that go into that, but it starts here, where I place the microphone in the room. It makes a difference, right? So first, when I put my headphones on, I connect my microphone, I put my headphones on, I'm listening to my microphone, how the room sounds in my microphone. So I'm turning the volume level up, 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 up. I'm listening. I'm like, hold on, some sound. Let me try to move the microphone. Okay, it sounds better right there. Because you can hear the air and the presence in the room. You can hear stuff outside. Like when I used to record in my apartment, like when my AC unit cut on, the fan outside of the, like there's a big fan outside of your house or your apartment when you cut your AC on in your house. So every time my AC would cut on, that fan would cut on outside. So you got the fan outside making noise. I can hear that in the microphone. You also have the air blowing through the vents in the room. I can hear that in my microphone. My refrigerator, I can hear that in my microphone. The motor that's going on, when every time the refrigerator cuts on and you got the motor going, I can hear that in my microphone. A lot of rookies don't pay attention to this. I always did. So what happened? Every time I would first get my apartment as cold as I needed to be. And then right before I start recording, I would cut my AC off. I would cut my refrigerator off. Why? Sometimes I could cut my AC off and my neighbor might be running their AC. Their fan sat right next to mine, so I could still hear it in my recording. Guess what? I would wait for their fan to go off before I record it. So sometimes I would be in my studio recording, it would be hot. Just like right now, it's actually hot in here. Why? Because I don't have the air on. Why do I not have the air on? Why you sitting out? Why you sitting in the room in the heat? Because I don't want y'all hearing the fan blowing. You want me to cut on the fan right now? Y'all want to hear how loud it is? Let me cut this on. I don't know how long it's going to take to cut on. Oh, here it come. I hear it. It goes into like a pre-mode, and then it's going to cut on. It's going to be loud. But anyways, I'm going to just keep talking while that's on. But anyway, so background noise, all right? Background noise is something that I want to talk about. Which I've already been talking about that. But background noise is very important to keep background noise. Now it's cutting on right now. It's getting louder. It's getting louder. So this is why I don't have the air on. Because I don't want y'all hearing that the whole time. When you're trying to do a professional recording, you don't want to hear that in your recording. You see what I'm saying? Even though you can't hear it with your, sometimes you can't hear the fan with your naked ear, like when you in your house and you got the AC on. Sometimes you really don't hear it. But when you cut your microphone on, that microphone picks up microscopic detail. You see what I'm saying? So everything that you really don't hear with your natural ear is amplified and intensified by that microphone. This is one of the reasons why my recordings, even on a cheap microphone, have always been pristine, because even with a cheap mic, I always take advantage of little stuff like that that people don't pay attention to. Again, mic placement. A lot of people, I'm gonna cut this off because it's annoying to me. A lot of people, you will hear some professionals or some what they think there are professionals that would tell you to turn your microphone on a off axis. Off axis. AXIS. Like basically what they're saying is don't point the mic directly at your mouth. I think that's the dumbest thing they could ever say. I've never done that. Because first of all, what you got to understand is the clarity of the microphone comes from being directly in front of it. So what some of them will say is if your microphone sounds too bright, you want to turn it slightly away from your mouth. So now it's not pointing direct. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. Now, if you got a cheap microphone, that might be the case. But I've never used, when I say cheap, that's why I'm pointing out certain microphones to y'all. But even if I was using a cheap microphone, in order to get the pristine quality of that out of that microphone, I would never turn the mic. I always speak directly forward of the mic. You're gonna get a better clarity and quality. Here's where a lot of people mess up. When you see a lot of them rappers rap, they're standing right up on the mic where they almost kissing it and spitting in it. That's very bad. Want me to tell y'all why that's very bad? Hold your hand in front of your mouth like this. And as you talk, hey, my name is such and such, such and such, such and such. There's wind blowing out of your mouth. And when you say the word puh, like not the word, but when you say a P word, if you notice the wind that comes out of your mouth, it's hitting that capsule. People don't understand how microphones work. I study this stuff. Sound waves. A sound wave. And when I'm talking, there are sound waves bouncing off the room and off the wall. The microphone picks up those sound waves, right? So when I'm talking in front of this microphone, the microphone is picking up. So you know how a speaker, have you ever seen a speaker moves? Like when the bass, boom, 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 it moves, right? What people fail to realize is a microphone capsule works just the way that a speaker does, but it's just the opposite. But it works exactly the same way. A speaker is putting sound out. A microphone is pulling sound in. A microphone capsule moves. It don't move as much as a speaker, a woofer. Sometimes even tweeters move. I had some speakers where if you turn those tweeters loud enough, they would actually, you would see them like move just a little bit. Because there's a certain pressure within there. That tweeter moves just like this microphone, similar too. So the microphone capsule is like a thin piece of it could be brass or whatever. They're made out of different things to give a different type of sound. The microphone capsule moves very slightly, but the little bit that it does move is called its dynamic range. When you blow against the microphone capsule, you are messing up the dynamic range of that microphone. What I'm saying is, if that microphone is moving, trying to pick up the sound waves that are bouncing off of the wall and coming off your voice, sound wave is a vibration. So the vibrations that are coming off of your voice are going into the microphone. You want the vibrations, but you don't want the wind that's coming off of your mouth. That's gonna mess up. So as the microphone is picking up the vibration, the microphone capsule is moving a little bit. It's picking up those vibrations and it's moving a little bit. When you blow wind out of your mouth onto that capsule, it messes with the vibration. So if the vibration is like picking up like that, and then you blow, every time you blow, it's gonna mess up the vibration. That's gonna mess with the quality of your recording. So they have these things. This is a windscreen or a pop filter. You put this over the microphone. This didn't come with that microphone. Literally everything. LOL. Gotta go. Keep creating, brother. Hey, 100, 100, producer. Oh, producer Gibbs. Oh, what's up, bro? Hey, producer Gibbs. Y'all gotta subscribe to him. Produce with Gibbs. That dude, y'all think I know a lot of stuff? Produce with Gibbs. That dude know a lot. Like everything I'm telling y'all, he knows that, but he knows how to explain it. Like, he knows how to explain it. My problem is I know stuff, but I don't really know how to explain to everybody. Produce with Gibbs. If y'all want to know anything about everything that I'm saying, he's way better at explaining than I am. So, but this particular pop filter, it didn't come with this mic. It came with this one. If you notice, it's in the shape of a rectangle, kinda. It's like squared off. If you notice, this microphone is like squared off. This one is kind of squared off, but it tapers down and it opens up to kind of like round. This fits directly on here because that's where it goes. It goes with this mic. That's the microphone that it goes to. Now, this microphone also came with a shock mount. I don't know where it is. I think I left it at my girlfriend's house. And that was like years ago. Cause some female might be watching like, oh, I thought you was single. Anyways, told y'all he wasn't single. But anyways, so pop filter. So the thing that I also want to say is, so when you have these pop filters on your microphone, a lot of people, I mean, it's cool. A lot of people like to stand right up on the mic and say whatever they got to say. Now, this pop filter is going to stop most of that wind from getting through to that capsule. But sometimes some of that wind is still coming through to that capsule. Now, I have used the pop filter and been right up on the mic for one of the songs I did. But, and then also some microphones come with some pop filter type material on the inside, like this one. Does this one have it? I see it on this one too, I think. It's not to the extent of this one, but it is some type of mesh, like you see the mesh that's going around it. If you look inside, you can see another layer of mesh. It has like little microscopic holes in it. Like if you see this, you see that this has holes in it, right? So if you look past this, like right behind it, it has another layer with smaller holes in it. That's how this microphone is, and I can see the second layer. At least I think it is. If this mic doesn't have it, I need a light. I need a light. Can't use a light on my phone because I'm on my phone. This film light by ProMaster is one of my favorite lights. See how big this? Well, it's not that big, but this light, how big this light is, right? And the reason that this is one of my favorite lights is because it's the biggest light that I've ever seen that can mount on top of my camera. It can mount on top of my camera. If you see this right here, it has a little attachment, and I can mount that on top of my camera. So pretty much this huge light can be on my camera. This is a 9x7. This is the biggest light and the brightest light that I've seen that can go on camera. Now, I turn this light on. It's at the lowest level. I just want to look in here. Yeah, because this has two layers of if you look inside of it, I know y'all can't see it, but I'm just making sure that I wasn't wrong about what I was saying. Inside of this, it has Like if you see these holes, but right behind it, it has another layer of it with smaller holes. And that is kind of like to prevent some of the popping, some of the wind that's going in, right? So let me see if this one has it. This one has it too. There's 2 layers, right? So that's a good thing, because I don't think all microphones have that. So it does kind of help with some of the popping, or some of the wind that it tries to stop, but it doesn't stop all of it. So here's the thing. When I record, my freaking leg is hurting. I'm like cramped up. When I record, I typically try to stand directly in front of, I listen to my voice before I record, and I'm setting it up. I get my volume at a certain level where my microphone sounds pristine. So I pick the right level on the preamp where I'm like, ooh, that volume sound like I'm listening to my voice. Hey, yeah. And when I do my test runs, I'm like really right up on the mic. I'm like, yeah. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, yeah. And I just keep doing it as I'm turning the volume, the gain, I should say, the volume. As I'm turning the volume up, and I'm like, ooh, it sound good right there. I might keep going up. But then I go back down. I'm like, okay, to see if it's gonna sound good, how good it's gonna sound at other levels. But if I find a level that sounds pristine, where I feel like the mic sensitivity is sounding the best, I stay at that level. These are elementary steps, basic steps that mean a lot. They're really advanced steps in a way, because they can get you advanced sound, but they are basic steps that can get you an advanced result. You see what I'm saying? So after that, now, remember I told y'all, once I get my level set right, I'm right up on it getting my level set right. Now what I'm doing is I'm staying directly in front of the mic. And you got to understand, if you're up a little bit of the capsule or down a little bit of the capsule. So most microphones have a logo, right? You see this logo, because sometimes you can't see the capsule. Like if I hold it right there, you can't really see the capsule. So sometimes when you're looking at the mic, you can't see the capsule. But if you look at the logo, a lot of times the logo is in direct line with the capsule. You just got to kind of remember where the capsule is. It's kind of like midways, right, of this one. But try to stay on this path. So a lot of times my microphone has this microphone has a logo as well. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, typically when I'm recording, I'm typically looking at the capsule, but I also look at the logo, and then also this little notch right here. I push this to take this out, but I look at that also and this to know where my capsule is. But I typically just like to look at the capsule, but I just look at those sometimes just for a second reference. And so when I'm standing in front of this microphone and I'm trying to figure out how far or how close I should be, right? What I do is I'm listening to how pristine my voice sounds. If I move slightly this way of the microphone, I'll notice that my voice is not as clear, because now the capsule is pointing back there. Like the capsule is pointing at something else. The way that these microphones pick up is they pick up directly of what's in front of it. And if you're standing to the side of it, it's kind of like rejecting anything that's to the side. It's trying to reject. This is a cardioid pickup pattern on this mic. We'll get into that later, but it picks up in front of it. That's pretty much what you need to know. And when you turn the mic on and you listen, you can tell that the microphone is picking up in front of it. Now, some microphones have different polar patterns that you can choose, and you can make it where it picks up in the whole room or whatever. But typically I have my mic set where it just picks up in the front. This microphone has a high pass filter on it. Typically, depending on what you're doing, you would leave it in default setting, which is up, where it's not the filter is not on. But when you're recording vocals, like if you're recording drums or something like that, you would typically have this off, right? But if you're recording vocals, or if you're recording a bass guitar, you would have this off because you don't want it to mess with the sound. But if you're recording vocals, you don't need all of that low end bass. So you flip this down, and typically that's gonna give you a better sound quality going in, because there's an analog and then there's digital, right? So when I'm adjusting these settings, this is one of the reasons that I bought this preamp, because I can edit stuff in analog before it goes digital into my computer, resulting in a better result. All right, me being able to adjust this right here, it helps with the analog signal, because we're still, analog is coming out right here and going into the preamp. So we typically get a better result, a cleaner recording before we go into the DAW. The DAW is a digital audio workstation. A DAW is the program that we use to record. Now, another thing I want to say is, most of the time when you buy a microphone or a preamp interface, especially the preamp interface, they come with recording software. You don't have to pay for money for recording software. They come with it most of the time. Sometimes it's gonna be like a basic version, but it's enough to get you going. Now, if you're trying to make beats and stuff like that, then typically you got to buy another program. But the recording software, what I'm talking about is, if you're not making your own beats, if you got a beat that's already made, your preamp interface will typically come with the recording software. So you'll upload your beat into this software, and then you're basically just going to record your vocals. So you're able to record your vocals in the program that's going to come with the preamp interface that you bought. It don't matter which one you buy, even the cheapest ones. If you buy a cheap one, $150 preamp, typically they're going to come with recording software. Sometimes when you buy microphones, sometimes they come with recording software. So the only thing you don't need to spend money on recording software. You don't need to spend money on beat making stuff. You can go sometimes download free beats online, right? There are some free beat making programs, but I don't use them. I don't know what they are. Actually, FL Studio is free, but it's like a limitation, I think, on certain things. But FL Studio is free. But I have to pay the full version. I paid a lot of money for my version. I paid like $2,500, if not more, for my version of FL Studio. Now, computer. If you're not making beats, if you're not recording, like, you can start off with a basic computer. Me, I cannot use a basic computer because my computer will, like, it'll start glitching and popping and crackling. It won't be able to keep up. I record vocals in super high quality. I make beats in super high quality. So it eats up a lot of computer processing power. I need like the top of the line stuff. A lot of times, even still, when I buy the top of the line stuff, the computer still can't keep up. So, like, once you start running a lot of sounds and a lot of plugins, the computer starts to be like, all right, man, I can't process all this stuff at one time. So it starts to have issues. So people don't understand why I spend $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 on a computer, because they don't understand that what I'm doing and what they're doing is on a total different level. All right. When you start making your own beats and then you're recording the vocals in that same session raw, that's a lot going on for that computer. Typically, I can make most of my whole beat in my computer without my computer really having any serious issues. It'll start to have some, but I'll still be able to like adjust my settings and still be able to get something done. When I start adding vocals, because my computer has already kind of been maxed out or put to a high usage with the beat that I made, once I start adding vocals, then that's typically when the computer's like, okay, like you really coming at me right now. And so yeah, I don't record vocals in mediocre quality. I record in high quality. And so I've had to invest in like you know what I'm saying, high quality stuff. And I think I pretty much then went over everything and said everything. If any of y'all have any questions, right? If any of y'all want to know about filming, if you want to know about marketing or how to grow on YouTube, I'm still learning. But as I'm learning, I'm teaching y'all, right? So all this stuff that I'm learning, how to produce, how to mix, how to master, how to film, I'm still learning. But even though I'm still learning, I still know a lot more than a lot of people. So I'm giving this advice to y'all for free. And as I'm giving this advice to y'all for free, all I'm asking y'all to do is get in the comment section, ask questions, submit your questions, say what you got to say. I also have a community tab. If you go into my community tab, a lot of times you can post stuff there and be like, hey man, can you make a video about this? I don't know if you can actually just go into the community tab or you have to like comment on something that I posted in the community tab. I think that's the way it has. I don't know. But either way, you can do that, or you can comment on one of my videos. So you comment on one of my videos and be like, hey man, I wish you could make a video about this. So I want to know about that. I can make a video about it. And so I don't get anything out of helping y'all, helping people. I don't get paid for it, nothing like that. Until I do start charging, this is the way that I'm doing it. And the way that I'm giving this away for free, my knowledge and help, the reason I'm giving this away for free is because what do I get out of it? I get views, I get shares, I get likes, I get subscriptions. I mean, people subscribing. So I'm cool with that. If a person can't give me money for me giving them advice and whatever, I'm cool with that. All I ask is subscribe, like, share, get in the comments and tell me what you want me to record next. That's it. That's it. It don't cost nobody nothing. Same thing with my music. You know, if somebody is a fan of somebody, and I haven't dropped music in a while, so people that have already heard my music, I don't expect them to keep playing the same stuff over and over. But yeah, like even with my music, like, you know, if somebody is a fan of yours, you know what I'm saying, like pretty much, you know, they're gonna subscribe to your music channel and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But like I say, man, I'm burning up in here. I'm hot. My Hershey's chocolate bar has melted. It ain't all the way melted, but I feel it's getting there. Oh, just a corner of it started melting a little bit. That just lets y'all know how hot it is in here. So I'm finna cut on the AC and I'm finna lay my old behind down. Hey man, y'all make sure y'all let me know what y'all want me to record next, man. How I can turn this live off? I don't even know how to cut this thing off.